Okay. Yeah, so we're trying to motivate, inspire, not overwhelm when it comes to food for thought in terms of why you would want to consider sex-specific factors. And so Winnie and I are going to be telling you about some tools that we've been developing to help make this easier or allow you to explore the possibility of how sex-specific factors are relevant to your research questions. So today I'm going to be talking about the Bowers Women's Brain Health Initiative Brain Bank. But I just want to start by providing a little bit of information about what motivated this tool. So one thing that may not be immediately obvious when we talk about the need to incorporate sex-specific factors is that because of our current understanding or our conception of what those factors are, when we don't include these variables or when we control for these variables, typically what we're controlling for are variables specific to women. So we're removing or ignoring factors that disproportionately remove women from consideration. So sex-specific factors are important to include for all sexes or both sexes, everyone, but it does disproportionately impact our understanding of the female brain when we ignore them. And so this is an estimate, but generally we find that very few studies have been done specifically focusing on female-specific factors. And what this means is that when we don't include them, we leave a lot on the cutting room floor. So that, however many papers that is, that's all we know about the effects of these hormonal transition periods that affect the brain. That's all we know. And so this excludes the experiences and conditions and just how the brain works for billions of people around the world. So generally, when we ignore the effect of sex, we're neutering the brain, which is not actually a real understanding of how the brain is functioning, because all of these factors play a large role in brain health and success. So the Ann S. Bowers Women's Brain Health Initiative is how we are addressing this gap in our understanding. So it is a research initiative headquartered at UCSB in California, but it unites scientists across California, across the US, and internationally. And our flagship projects are those where we see the greatest opportunity for discovery and for moving the needle in our understanding of reproductive factors and their influence on the brain. So of particular relevance for our purposes here today is the Brain Bank. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So the University of California system consists of 10 campuses with 8 research-dedicated neuroimaging centers. And when it comes to human neuroscience and human neuroimaging, we are building this on the understanding that we are so much more powerful cooperating and working together than operating individually. And so the Brain Bank has been our labor of love in getting these research-dedicated neuroimaging centers ready to be able to pool their neuroimaging data into one data set. And so anyone conducting a neuroimaging study at these campuses, if they would like to, they can share their neuroimaging data with us, and then we ask them to administer our questionnaire to their participant, and the questionnaire is what gives us common information about all of these participants and allows us to create this cohesive data set for you. And what makes this unique is that while we have the brain imaging data and really the standard demographic, health history, medication, mood, et cetera, measurements, this is also highly enriched for reproductive health factors that are not just female specific, but affect everyone. So we try and make this comprehensive, and it is unique in that we don't see these variables often reflected or present in other large-scale neuroimaging consortia. So with this, we have the questionnaire data, the neuroimaging data, and then we match that, and we will be hosting that open access on OpenNeuro. And so what this specifically means for you, I hope, and for our purposes here, is that we intend for this data bank to have enough information that you can take your brain variable of interest and use our data set as an incubator or a playground to see how different reproductive variables that we've captured may be interacting with variables relevant to your research. So instead of saving statistical power by eliminating these variables, we're trying to give you the power to really explore all the different variables that we can think of that Winnie will be telling you about, so that we can see when they are relevant, when they have an impact, when they don't, what the circumstances are, so that we can actually work together to start to understand when we need to take into account sex variables. So with the Brain Bank, we are providing the neuroimaging data, and now Winnie is going to tell more about the hard work that she's doing to get the questions right so that this doesn't have to be tough for everyone else to try and figure out which variables to look at. So thank you.